I mean, I'm not going to lie, I did zoom in on your crotch in the brief one.
What we realised is boycotting the actual productive way forward. There is a local gay community living there. How dare you go to this country? You should be boycotting them. Your money's feeding their government. What's really going to the government? What, a visa fee? The majority of money you pay goes to local business.
Yeah.
I came out to my parents when I was 26 years old. It went down really badly. The sad story is my mother died from breast cancer 10 years ago, and her religion was so strong, she thought it was a punishment from God for having a gay son. She told that on her deathbed to my father and sister, so my father still lives with that guilt.
Hi.
Hi guys.
How are you?
Hello.
We have one of the Nomadic Boys with us today. So interestingly, we were just talking about, before we start recording, about the old podcast being called Bedouin Boys, and then we came across your page, Nomadic Boys. Do you want to talk us through a little bit about what it is and how you got there?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Nomadic Boys started by accident. Back in 2009, I met Seb.
Okay.
I used to be a lawyer. He was a computer programmer. It's a very city, boring jobs. And about 2 years in, he said to me, look, Stefan, I don't want to stay forever in London. I want to travel the world. I want to live in Barcelona for a month. I want to go to Sydney. I want to live in Buenos Aires. And I was like, yeah, me too. And we'd
Sounds good.
we'd hit our 30s and we were reevaluating what we wanted from life. We didn't want children. We didn't care for having mortgage, paying school fees. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
So the options available to us were bigger. So we thought, let's do a big trip in Asia. Let's save for it. We planned for it. And then by 2014, we'd saved enough money to just leave it and go. And we did. We started Nomadic Boys for friends, family to follow along the travels. And about a year in, we started getting random people coming to our website, which wasn't in our friends, family network. We're like, what's going on? What was going on? We realized what was happening is they were Googling gay hotels Bali, where is the gay bars of Shanghai? Is it safe for gay couples to travel in Asia? And they were finding our content. So from that, we realized, okay, let's publish more content for gay travelers rather than friends and family. And then 10 years later, it's grown into this big gay travel resource online. And we've just published our book to commemorate the 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, is that what that... So that's your anniversary of 10 years of doing...
It's coincidence that it's 10 years in,
but
it's nice
cool.
to say dramatically. Oh,
We celebrated 10 years of the book.
Yeah.
That's really... I think that's really important because a lot of the, I guess, like, the nuances of being gay, people don't realise that you do have to do your research.
Absolutely.
And you do have to find what's comfortable, what's not comfortable. One of the things that I've been struggling with recently, and I wonder if you have, like, you know, an opinion on it, is a lot of people more recently, I guess after the World Cup maybe, are a bit more, I guess, like cautious about wanting to go to certain countries where it's not legal to be gay or where it's even punishable by death. And so within the community, maybe also allies don't want to visit those countries because they feel like, I don't want to give to that economy, I don't want to spend my money there and things like that. I'm a bit torn with that. I don't know where I stand. I don't know how.
Yeah, I had the same. It was pre-Qatar World Cup actually. That feeling. I mean, we left in 2014. Went to Asia. A lot of countries have anti-gay laws. Maldives, Malaysia, at the time India, Sri Lanka. All these countries have an anti-gay law. Morocco is another classic example. I picked deliberately those countries because they're very touristy, and you don't immediately think they've got an anti-gay law. Yeah. We got a lot of stick back then saying, why are you promoting? Why are you writing about countries which have an anti-gay law? How dare you? This is from gay travelers. You should be boycotting them. How dare you go and encourage? At first, we had that exact same feeling because we were scared. We didn't want to promote these governments. What we realized is boycotting the actual productive way forward. There is a local gay community living there. Right?
Yeah, true.
We forget that. And there are local gay-friendly businesses as well who would be, who need our money to survive in an economy where the government is not only trying to get rid of them, but trying to pretend they're not there. And that's, I think, the key to it. I mean, you remember Russia, Chechnya, the guy there, this dickhead of a man who was saying that he put the gays in concentration camps, didn't he? There was a big thing. And he was on having an interview saying, oh, we have no gay here. They're all in Canada. There's no gay here. Basically, there is no gay people here. Of course they're gay people. They want to show that there's no gays here. So the visibility that you provide as a gay traveller is so important. Obviously, balance that with safety. You don't want to go there saying, woo, in a crop top, flag, I'm here, get yourself thrown in jail.
I look like Winnie the Pooh in a crop top.
So I think whatever creates a discussion about it or creates the necessary conversations in that society that lead eventually to change, right? Saudi Arabia, classic example. You know, you mention it, people think, oh my God, I'm going to go there, I'm going to be stoned, thrown off a building, blah, blah, blah. It's changing so drastically over the last 3 years. They're trying to push away from oil money into football. They're investing billions. They've put a lot into the tourist industry because they want to move away from oil money. They've got on their website Q&A section, are gay travellers allowed in Saudi Arabia? Is it safe for gay travel? And I mean, of course, it's not. The answer is be respectful, don't show yourself.
Yeah.
But the fact that they've actually put that there is a sign that...
It's a step forward.
You know?
Yeah, because usually, again, blind eye, completely ignore it. It doesn't exist. Yeah.
You know, that's change. I'm not saying let's all flood it and go there with crop tops, blah, 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 have a gay pride. But it's a sign of change. You know, what is it going to be in 10 years? That's where you start to see productive change happening, and that's part of the world that does need it, right?
100%. It's nice that you're highlighting that as well, because I think within like the community, we're very like used to only talking about Western gay countries where we know it's okay to be gay and you can be completely who you are. So I think to like put a spotlight on countries which is always kind of like shunned within the gay community, I think is really good, especially for people who have a different background or are from these countries as well. It's just like opening the doors and the floor up to them, I think.
Because I suppose you're giving the money to those local businesses and those people rather
Let's
than...
Let's unpack that. You're giving... How dare you go to this country? You should be boycotting them. Your money's feeding their government. What's really going to the government? What, a visa fee and perhaps a tax that the local businesses pay? But the majority of money you pay...
While you're there,
goes to local business.
Yeah.
Now, what if you seek out... And I'm not saying go there and be an activist, but what if you seek out a gay-friendly business or even a gay-owned business, if it does exist? I'd love to pour my money into them and help them survive. Yeah. That's where I think there's more productive value in things.
Are you cautious? Like, do you have a disclaimer in your book or in your Instagram, or whatever, about not, I suppose, like over romanticizing those places? Like to be, you know, if you go, for example, you've been to Egypt and like there's like a video of you guys holding hands and things like that, and I was like, could never. But do you feel like sometimes like, oh, I don't want people to see this that don't have any knowledge of that country to think, oh, it's fine, they did it, like, do you think about that or not?
That post has a caption all about the anti-gay laws and being careful.
Yeah.
Within
I saw. Okay. Oh, okay. Because I liked it because it said about the first gay couple.
Yes.
Where yeah, that's true. But yeah, is that ever in your mind? Like, do you ever feel? Yeah,
of course. And I mean, they're two separate beasts, the website and... Because the website is people are Googling, they find an answer to a solution they're searching for. Where are the gay hotels in Bali? Google, oh, here's this article and it tells me the answer. Instagram's different. It's just creating a romanticized dream of travel, I guess. And this is slightly two different beasts. On the website, we're answering a question. So someone who's already got in their mind, I'm going to go to Dubai. What is there to do that's gay in Dubai? We're not encouraging gay people to go to Dubai. It's a different thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just helping those people who are already going there. If we were to put content on social media, we don't unless there's a reason to, and we're trying to make a point, because we're not trying to say to the gay community at large, yeah, let's all go to Dubai or Egypt. The Egypt thing, I wanted to do a post because I thought that gay couple thing was beautiful in a country now where it's the police use Grindr to target gays and arrest them. You know, and it just beautifully conflicts that. But of course, we mentioned safety is a huge thing. Be careful and.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to highlight that and make sure, because I think what you just said there was really good. Like, you're not saying, yay, go be gay in Dubai. You're saying, if you're going to Dubai already and you're gay and you might be going with a partner, this is what this could look like. Yeah. And I think that's an important thing to highlight.
My kind of question, I wanted to know a little bit more about your book, like how you kind of like came up with the idea of it and how you kind of like created it in general.
Can we see the book?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to hold it up and look cute with it? Just like, hey.
So if you wave it in the light, I think the rainbow hologram shines a bit.
Yeah. I can
that's
see that.
nice.
I love it.
I'm really proud of that.
What was it like first opening that? Like the package arrives, your first book published. Like, what was that like?
All your ideas are there,
Yeah.
like,
It
in
was
front of you.
amazing,
Yeah.
guys. It's like, we're published authors now. It's
I
such an
know.
amazing feeling.
100%.
We're so proud. And it's our baby. Nomadic Boys is our baby.
Yeah.
It's our business as well, but we see it more as our baby.
Yeah.
So to see it like this, it was such an incredible feeling. We were like two little kids in a
I
school.
love that.
That is so fun.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Okay, yeah.
What
talk
was
us
the
through it.
first conversation around it? Like, have you been planning it for like years and years and years, or was it just kind of like, I think we can do this? Like, how did you kind of go into creating it?
We started in early 2022. That's when we got the publishing deal through.
Okay.
And I think the discussion at the beginning was, how do we structure it? It'd be a sort of gay guidebook. It's not really been done before. Spartacus, the German publication, do something similar with online and in some of their magazines.
Okay.
But it's third person and it's impersonal. This is more. This is first person. So it's got that personality.
Yeah.
Side to it. Then we had to. The problem we had was, which destinations do we pick? Because we were limited to 193 words. That's the standard in the industry, I'm told.
Okay.
Or 30,000 words. So 193 pages, 30,000 words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a really limited amount of space.
So you can't make a bigger book.
No.
Oh,
no.
okay,
We were
okay.
limited by space.
Interesting.
So we said, okay, we'll split it into Europe, Asia, North America, South America, the different
Nice.
continents,
Yeah.
Australasia, Africa, and Middle East. Then how do we go about picking each one? I mean, if I asked you which ones would you pick for Europe? Limit it to 10,000 words, so about 10 destinations. Which
Yeah.
ones did you pick? The obvious: Berlin, Amsterdam, London. Obviously, people have to pick London. But then it came to Asia was an interesting one. Which ones do you pick for Asia? Obviously, Taiwan, Bangkok, Thailand. I mean, Japan, the obvious ones. And then, what about the ones with an anti-gay or Malaysia? Do we go there because it's a really great country to go to? Indonesia as well. That's not got an anti-gay law, but it's got anti-LGBT laws.
Yeah.
And we thought, let's focus on it because there's so many. Anyway, but that was the discussions we were having. Which destinations do we pick? Which ones do we focus on? How do we then structure? We have a little travel story to give it that personal angle, and then we need some sort of practical information in there, tips.
Yeah.
Like we were discussing now, when you're using Grindr, in some countries just don't, or be careful how you do it. Or there's important tips, make sure you meet the person publicly or do a video call. But these sort of things, they were the discussions going on at the time. Then we wrote it, Thailand's legalized marijuana. And we go to Thailand every year for a holiday in January. And then there's an island we go to, Koh Lipe, and just on the hammock there with a bit of a spliff, writing away some ideas.
Oh, that's cool.
That is amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
I love that.
So just talk us through a bit more about the actual like books and chapters. Like, what's your favorite part to write? What part would you point people to read? Like, what do you want people to get out of this book?
The most important thing that I and Sebi want to get people to get out of this book is basically, visibility. Look, we are here. That's the most important thing as LGBT people. We just want visibility. We want conversations. Whatever the conversation is, at this stage, we just want the visibility. That's where we start to see change happening. And if we can be a part of that, then that's already a mission accomplished. Obviously, we want people to be inspired, to see, to read this and think, yeah, I want to go to that place. And more importantly, to help them plan a fun and safe trip.
Yeah.
They're the main goals. But the visibility part is something close to my heart. I think that's where we do see the change. I'm from the generation we grew up with Section 28 in UK, where the Thatcher government passed a law that said teachers can't promote homosexuality to kids. I was at the tail end of that before Blair got rid of it. So at school, there was no sex education for gays at all. There was no. We were doing English A level when we had Othello, and my teacher would mock it and say, "Oh, is Iago a closet homosexual? Oh, was I supposed to say that?" When he started getting a bit camp about it, and but there was this air of
secrecy and
I feel like even with me going to school, like I feel like
even me, who's so young, it's like even me.
No, guys. I mean, this is a recent thing. I think in 2018, 19, the government passed a law where they have to promote LGBT.
Yeah, and even now it's getting pushed back again, isn't it? Like there's pushback now to say that it shouldn't be in schools.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole conversation's wild because it just shows how gay relationships are just immediately sexualized straight away. Like you
every
don't,
single time.
even if you feel like you don't do that, clearly that's the kind of narrative in
There's always thoughts
UK,
and feelings around it. It's not like when you look at a straight relationship, you never think of it in that way, like at all. But with gays, it's always like sex. It's the first thing that is in like people's minds.
And visibility pisses people off. They're like, oh, another gay character or another woke moment. And it's like, if you really understood if it was normal and if it was accepted, it would just be okay. Like, it would just be okay. It would be like someone crushing a straight couple, they're crushing together in a TV show. It would be the same thing. So I think the visibility becomes, people get used to it and people then understand it more. And but within that, like, I feel representation of the gay community in like on social media, on whatever. Do you feel pressure to like look this hot? Do you feel pressure to look this good?
I will take that. Thank you. It's a very vain thing that we're ourselves with it. I think a lot of, how do I not sound like a dickhead saying this, but a lot of gay guys, we are body obsessed a bit and image obsessed. We do look after ourselves. And I think that's just naturally how we are, and that just comes out on social media. We don't intend to.
Okay.
There's a lot of pressure in the gay community to like look a certain way, I feel, and if you don't, you're kind of like pushed to the side a little bit. So
although I mean, classic example, you have a bigger frame, the bear community. It's a thing, is it? Then there's bear cruises, there's bear prides that happen. Sitges have 2 of them a year, bear events, and it's another wonderful niche which I love because it promotes body beautiful. I don't feel the need to be muscle chiseled, but obviously I do because I'm vain and I think it looks hot. It makes me feel confident. So, but to make a thing of it, it's not my priority on Instagram. It's just,
it just is what it.
Yeah.
Do you notice more engagement with like those like posts that are more revealing and things like that? Is there more?
It goes without saying, unfortunately. I mean, when I'm looking at social media, my eye is drawn more to. It's inevitably drawn to a particular body type. When you go to when you pick up a gay's phone, usually and go to
a gay's phone,
pick up their open up their Instagram, go into the Explore tab. What comes up?
Yeah, that's true.
It's so true.
And what does that tell you?
Yeah.
About you two as well.
We're like him mostly though, because we share Bedouin Boys Instagram and Amabath as well, Amabath, and I'll know when he's been on Instagram too long, because when I go on the Explore page, it's full of topless men again. Whereas before it would be full of like puppies and things like that. And
Josh has been on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm like, Josh, chill.
Brilliant. What's a good analogy? Attitude magazine.
Yeah.
And Gay Times, and the owners were giving. One of them wrote a book. I think it was Attitude magazine. The owner wrote a book about how he created it and how he got a lot of criticism, or not him, but Attitude got a lot of criticism because the front cover is always a white, chiseled, muscle, beautiful guy. And he said, we've tried so hard. Sometimes we've put a different body type, tried a trans, we tried a different color, but unfortunately, because it's advertiser based and they need to make money to continue. It's a really harsh reality that when you put a certain body type on the front cover, it will sell more copies, and he's got to get the balance between sales.
That's so
true.
It's awful. It's horrible, but that's
it's a business, like,
but at the same time, it's just sad that that's what sells. It's so to answer your question.
I'm so deep in thought there.
I have so many things like pinging around my brain.
Go on. Sorry, to answer.
To answer your question, I think we all generally
have some pressure.
That's what our eyes are drawn to in a different way.
Yeah, I think with Instagram anyway, it's just a platform where it's the perfect world, isn't it? Like you say, like you're not really going to put up. Well, some people I guess do, but you're not really going to put that up, especially when you know what's performing well and what's doing well. What do you think your biggest change has been since starting it to now? This Nomadic Boys brand, basically, not just Instagram. Like how has that developed?
I mean, at the beginning, it was our silly fun traveling together as a gay couple, and at the time, I remember I had a beautiful. I like my photography. I like to think I'm proud. We were in Mongolia in the Gobi Desert. I'm showing off now deliberately.
Love that, yeah.
The Gobi Desert at sunset with this a nomadic tribe family, and a guy was doing throat singing to put the camels to sleep. No, he was throat singing for the camels, dude. But it was a beautiful image. And then I had a photo of the camel with the hump, through the hump, the sunset, and it was a really beautiful photo.
Nice.
Posted it on Instagram, a few likes. And then I posted a photo of Sebi topless, a silly selfie he did holding some stuffed toy in Bangkok. He got thousands of likes, It's I was my beautiful photo I was so proud of versus this shitty selfie,
Poor Sebi.
So you realise after a while you have to get that balance right between what is good visually, but what is engaging.
Mm-mm. Yes.
Right? It's the engaging part. And our audience is mainly gay men, American, British gay men. And yes, we love to be educated and inspired for certain things traveling, but we do also want to see a bit of other things as well. It's summed up by your Explore page.
It makes sense.
Mine is the same, so I'm not saying I am no different.
No, that's so true. I do feel though that is changing a little bit more, because Instagram used to be like highly polished, perfect like photos and like videos. And I feel like now that like TikTok has kind of like come into it, I feel like the more authentic, rough, just grab your camera and go kind of thing is starting to like make way. And I feel like especially with like Gen Z, it'll be interesting in the years to come to see how that kind of like translates and what social media will be like, if it does change completely or it's like a balance between the two.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did zoom in on your crotch when in the brief one. He was like, if you bring that up, we're over. He was like, don't bring it up. And I was like, he has it up there. You should be proud of it. You looked amazing. I was like, I would feel very overexposed. I can see everything.
Oh my God.
Sorry to interrupt this episode, but just a quick reminder, it would be really, really helpful if you do subscribe, because otherwise we don't get paid. But no, seriously, if you subscribe, then you'll get notified when we have new episodes and new videos. And if you follow and hit the bell, then you just won't miss out on any fun conversations. So make sure you do, and thank you for watching. What was your places that you've been to where you felt the most unsafe, let's say, because of your sexuality and maybe other stuff? And then where did you feel like the most welcome? Because you do a lot of those posts at top 5 countries. They're really helpful. So where would you say, if you could think of your place where you were like, it was fine, but I did definitely feel a little, and then the safe one?
The quick obvious answer is Iceland.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's so gay friendly there. They're one of the first countries that legalized gay marriage and have been pro LGBTQ laws. Diversity and inclusion is just ingrained in the fabric of society there. There's rainbow roads everywhere. We were in this we did a road trip around the country. We were in this tiny village in the middle of nowhere on the east side. East side. And there was a rainbow road there. And, we could hold hands walking the streets. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So used to it. And we met a guy there and he said, how come you've only just arrived to Iceland? This is in 2022 and you've been doing this for so many years. It's well known that Iceland is gay friendly. It's so, and I'm like, it was just a moment of, this is a really gay place. And it's stunning. Obviously places like Spain and
the standard
ones, Berlin and Tel Aviv have got a reputation for being very gay. America's an interesting one because it's on the one hand the most homophobic place in the world, on the other hand the gayest place in the world.
Do you feel that contrast when you're there, or does it depend what city you're in or where you are there?
It does depend. I mean, we went to Miami and it was our first time going to America, and we were shit scared because it was during the Trump years, and we were you hear stories about the gun crime and the gay law, and we arrived in Miami airport and there was a big black Haitian guy there doing the passport. And we were thinking, shit, kid, don't say anything about being husbands. Don't say anything about what we do. And he was just like, oh, are you together? Come over. He was really friendly. He was just really like, as if it was ingrained in their culture. Then I was on the Rainbow Road on Miami Beach taking a photo, a rainbow crossing, and I was taking a photo. Sebi take a photo of me on this rainbow crossing. And this guy shouts out, get off the road, faggot, and then of course we hear the stories, and there's certain parts you don't want to go to or be openly gay. Others are really, really gay. The Fort Lauderdale's of Palm Springs, New York, it's such a
contrast between both of them. And I guess you kind of get that in a lot of different cities as well. Like even with London, there's some areas where I feel so open and okay to be gay, and then there's other areas where I'm like, no.
Did you watch Supercell on Netflix?
Yeah.
You know, that's a London I do not know. You know what I mean?
Really?
Oh, really?
No, I know the area.
Yeah. But that
I
side of it,
that community, that part, the gangs, the whole knife crime, and I'm in the bubble in my part of West or North London. I've not ever.
Yeah. Sometimes they don't. Those two worlds never like cross over or meet or things like that. Like I always think of it with people coming to visit London and doing like the touristy bits. Like they never kind of see.
They don't go too far east or even too far west
or too far south.
Yeah, it's always quite like.
And there's like an idea of like what London is.
Yeah.
Is there any place that you've been which you maybe had some preconceived ideas of what it might be like? Maybe being a little bit more restrictive, or apart from like the America side of things, but then you went there and you were like complete shock, like, oh my God, it's a lot more open and chilled than I would have imagined it to be.
There's two actually that immediately come to mind. First one was Russia.
Oh, okay.
This is pre 20. When did Putin become even more scary than he is now? 2018. 2018 was when he started to really crack down on the community. But 2014 we went.
Yeah.
And it was about the time Panorama did a documentary about how it's quite difficult for gay people there.
Yeah.
Russia before that time was like any other East European country. So it's not the most gay friendly place, we know, but we had Tattoo, you know, all the things she said.
Oh, the things she said, Yep.
That was they were marketed as two school girls falling in love because they were trying to get a straight audience. That was in 2003-4.
That's weird, actually.
You know, yes, the commercial cynicism of it is horrible, but the fact that they were using lesbianism openly in this way. Putin at the time gave an interview saying, "We have no anti-gay law in Russia. We welcome the gays. We had Elton John here." This is again back then.
Yeah.
So we went Trans-Siberian and went to Moscow and St. Petersburg. We did the Trans-Siberian Railway across Russia. Before going there, we had these preconceived ideas. Oh fuck, it's really dangerous here. Let's single beds. Let's pretend we're mates traveling. Don't hold hands, you know. It was so different. There was a huge gay community living in Moscow. There were loads of gay bars. There were gay bars, clubs there. A little bit underground, but in an East European way, not in a... But that shocked us. And we realised we were just a bit more cautious than we needed to be. Of course, things have changed now with Russia. It's a whole different piece. But just back then, we realised, okay, we can chill a bit. We don't have to be that...
It's not so scary.
But remember that we're almost at the top of the privilege tree. We're white men, right? Okay, we can pass as the king of the privilege tree. We're not people of colour. We're not women who obviously show their lack of privilege. Regardless of what we do, we can hide and pretend to be kings of the privilege tree. We can empathise with women and people of colour because of the gay thing. You know what I mean? So we have that advantage if need be. So we're lucky, me and Seb, that if we're in a place with anti-gay laws, we can pretend we're mates and we know we're...
Yeah, that's an interesting part as well, actually, because I feel sometimes when we go to countries, we're aware of two different things. One will be that we're gay, and the second will be I'm mixed, you're mixed, like our backgrounds. So there's always like kind of one side that we're always like thinking or like researching before we go. So it's an interesting point.
But the one thing I would say is like, it's interesting what you said about Miami, because it's almost where it's okay to be gay. People are also quite vocal about not liking that. So you will get those kind of comments with like profanities like sworn at you. But when you're unaccepted, like in my experience in like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Jordan, like Kuwait, like those kind of places, the gay is very...
Wait a second, you've compared some Kuwait,
Dubai different, but they're Khaliji states, so they're still quite modest in their way of thinking in comparison to, let's say, like Jordan, Lebanon, and that kind of thing. So
really,
they're much more like restrictive in the sense of
Dubai
is open, but it's very face value open. It's not like the locals there know what's up, and it's not really like for them, like the gay people in that community. So,
and you think it's easy in Jordan and Lebanon? That's the feeling I got.
It definitely is, but because it's not technically illegal in Jordan.
It very much is illegal in Lebanon. They have an anti-gay law.
They have one?
They do, yes.
Oh,
we
okay.
got caught by that. Blacklisted, banned from the country.
We want to hear this story.
No, they do. They've got Well, the story, we went there for my birthday several years ago. I've always wanted to visit. Lebanon's an incredible country. It's
really want to go.
Beautiful people.
Yeah.
The food is fantastic. It's got a reputation. Beirut is a gorgeous city, Hamra streets. It's lovely. We had a great experience. We went there as part of a campaign with a hotel to promote them. And we made the mistake of posting while we were there, which you shouldn't do in a country with anti-gay laws. You wait till you leave.
We're exactly. Yeah.
You have to be careful. And we did that. We get hashtag Gay Lebanon all over Instagram. And I think what happened was the religious police picked up on it, and or someone at the hotel may have reported. We don't know the official. But when we were leaving, we got to the immigration desk, and I'm Stefan Arestis, UK passport. Seb is Sebastian Chaniak, French passport. So they're completely unrelated.
Got ya.
I went to that guy. He went to that guy, and they looked at the passport, and then he started shouting to his colleague something in Arabic, and then the shouting continued, and then he sort of looked at me and said, "Why are you here?" And I explained I was a tourist that was here 5 days. No, you're blacklisted. You shouldn't be here. Why are you here? What do? You shouldn't be here. You're blacklisted. You shouldn't be allowed in Lebanon. And this went on for about 10, 15 minutes, and his supervisor came out. He took me and Sebi into his office. Oh, God. And the interrogation continued. Why are you in Lebanon? What are you doing? What do you do for a living? Why are you here? What are you doing? You're not supposed to be here. You're black. He wouldn't give a reason. They were shouting something in Arabic to each other. But we don't know Arabic. Yeah. What my friend told me in future is to start the video on your phone and just put it in your pocket, so at least you get the sound.
Yeah,
it's a good tip if you're ever in that situation. We were terrified. We thought we were going to end up in some sort of Beirut dodgy prison.
Yeah.
Seb was saying, right, delete Grindr from your phone, delete anything that's rainbow, delete all photos of us, quickly do it now. Eventually he let us go, and we just got our flights, and we just felt this relief. But we basically told in very clear terms, you're not allowed back into the country, you're blacklisted. We never got to the reason why. We tried with the embassy to find out what the issue was. They came back saying, well, look, Lebanon's got an anti-gay law, so we can't do anything about that. It's something beyond our hands. There's a guy called Hadi Damian. He's the person who does Beirut Pride. Got arrested for it in 2018. He's a fantastic local advocate in Lebanon. He was telling me there was a conference afterwards, a gay conference in Beirut, and a similar thing happened to other bloggers, gay bloggers.
Oh, okay.
But he was saying there was a case where I think a lady judge, I think she was Arabic or Chris, I can't remember. She had a gay man who was arrested, and she had the option to. He was arrested for being public homosexuality, basically, cruising or something, and she had the option to acquit him or put him in jail, and she couldn't. She felt empathy for him, but I think she was obliged by law to not acquit him, and he got a. Not a sentence for it, but I can't remember the detail. Basically, there is very much an anti-gay law there. Yeah. And a strong religious police that does enforce it. And they've really cracked down on the country since 2018, because it used to be really
liberal,
Because because a lot of our
Lebanon's
friends...
where they're open, aren't they?
Yeah, like in the Middle East, I feel like from family members or friends, like all across, they always kind of like, Lebanon's the place to go.
Compared
like if
to
you're
other
gay.
Arab countries, it's...
the one that's more open, because I know there's a lot of like band members that are gay. There's a lot of trans people over there as well that are part of the community. So it's interesting to hear like both sides of it, which I think
that band member, I can't remember the name of the band, but I think they did a concert in Egypt, or I think they were banned from it or something. And there's an openly gay, there's a band with an openly gay drummer in it. I think.
Yeah. That's the exact one.
And they got banned, I think, from Egypt, or they've had to censor some of their songs. But no, they do have that, and they're Lebanese. It's a big thing. Mika is Lebanese.
Yeah.
The singer, he's...
Oh, really?
Yeah. French Lebanese.
I did not know that.
Oh, did you not?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, sorry, going back a little bit, you said that there was 2 countries that...
Lebanon was the other one.
Lebanon was the other one. Okay.
Lebanon, Russia, yes.
So, you and Seb, how long have you been together?
15 years.
And you're married?
Yes.
When did that happen?
We got legally married at the Ealing Town Hall in 2018.
Oh, fine.
But it was more for bureaucracy reasons rather than anything else. We've not had a big party wedding. Yet. COVID sort of interrupted that, and it's still on the cards. It's
fine.
Okay.
Can we be invited?
Absolutely. Are you guys married?
We're engaged.
In Iceland, funny enough.
Yeah.
Where in Iceland?
We were in... So we did those like igloo things where you can see like the northern lights. It was not a known place. It was in the middle of it's not a known place or anything like that. It's in the middle of
yeah.
nowhere. And I like my my career is like photography, videography. So when he was getting ready to propose, he's like, Josh, can you come speak to me? And I'm like, I'm getting a photo of the stars, like, leave me alone, blah, blah. And it's like goes on for like half an hour, 45 minutes.
Stop taking fucking pictures of
He's
the
like,
stars.
come here. And I was like, okay.
That's a slow shutter speed. You
Yeah,
wait
and he was stood there for
Yeah.
ages, just like by the camera, and I was like, "Okay, babe, come on, let's go." So yeah, that's where we got engaged. But we're thinking of doing something small like that, possibly.
Yeah.
When
like
did that
just
happen?
say that again?
When did that happen?
This was coming up to 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But we always said, like, we're in no rush.
When
for
did you go to Iceland, guys? We were there February 2022.
We were
March.
March. Yeah.
March
Early
2022.
Late February, we were there.
Oh my god!
Oh,
How
so we were there. I think we got there on like the 9th or the 10th.
Yeah.
Because it was my birthday
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the 12th. How funny if we bumped into
That
each
would
other.
have been cool.
We just missed you.
Oh, that's so fun.
been.
Yeah, imagine.
Well, we're going to Sierra Leone together, so
I'm very
Yeah.
jealous.
fine. Yeah. No, we are going.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
we are.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
as a
yeah.
group. I thought you meant you two.
No,
and I'm
no,
like-
we're all going.
Yes, we are.
And yeah.
That's definitely on our
Very
bucket
dark, yeah.
list at some point.
Yeah. Do you know your attachment styles by any chance? Do you know if you're anxiously attached, avoidant attached, or are you not aware of those?
You have to explain that to me.
So if you're anxiously attached, you're someone who tends to be overly like needing reassurance or like liking to be with your partner, slightly like you have kind of more insecurities, so you need more validation and things like that. And then if you're avoidant attached, you like your own space a bit more. You might pull away if you feel too strong of a connection.
You might shut down a
We
relationship
all have a
before.
bit of both, don't we? Just some of us a bit more.
There
than
are
others.
mixtures of
Yeah.
both of them
Yeah.
as
We
well.
all have a bit of that. We're not. I don't. I mean,
Either.
well, I mean, 15 years after a while,
You're like, fuck off.
No, one thing I've learned, if you're comfortable, confident about yourself, and you love, it's cheesy, love yourself. Okay, you like you like your own company. You like,
Yeah.
you're okay with your own company. I don't think you have those problems as much. You're okay to be apart for a while. And
Yeah.
what
That's
we've
more
learned-
secure attached, I'd
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
But we've learned we have a business together, and we're we're together. You know,
Yeah.
we live together. We need separation. We need a healthy separation. Otherwise, it's there's clashes where there shouldn't be clashes. Most couples have a 9-to-5 job of some sort.
Yeah.
They say goodbye in the morning, separate, reunite in the afternoon. That's
Yeah.
what most people do. There's a healthy separation there. We didn't, and then COVID as well. We were even more together. So we've learned that having solo trips, or you need to make time to go and do your own thing, is so important for the relationship to thrive.
Yeah. How did you learn that? Was that through conversation, or was it more
Communication, always
yeah.
communication. And the hard way during COVID.
Yeah.
when
It tested
came.
relationships
Absolutely,
for sure. Yeah.
absolutely. And it was the best thing that's ever happened. Our communication is better than ever before. Our trust is, I can trust somebody with anything.
Yeah.
The feeling is mutual. But it's through conversation, it's through communication, learning to speak about how you feel. I think for me, especially, it's a very hard thing. I think as men, we're not trained, we're not educated to speak about how we feel. Because we're taught, it's this toxic masculinity thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
To talk about our feelings. It's not what a man does.
Yeah.
I think I've got a bit of that especially from the Greek culture. It's got a bit of that. Men are they're meant to be men. You don't show feeling. That's what women do. And so I've learned to try to break that. Seb's better at that than me, but I think learning to talk about how you feel is already an art. And then once you conquer that, I think you're in a better place to communicate. So it's been an amazing thing for me and our relationship.
Yeah. So are you hard?
That does not answer your question at
no.
all, does it?
No, but I like that.
But
yeah.
that's it does kind of, it basically says that you might have been some form of those attachment styles to begin with, but through communication and growth together, I guess you're more like secure, with maybe some days where you're a bit more one or the other. Are you guys in an open relationship, or you're?
We are, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that help the trust to an extent, in a sense of like there's more open communication about that?
It was the best thing we've ever done. It's elevated our relationship in many ways. We've we talk about everything, and it brings a new dynamic to the relationship, and it's evolved in such a beautiful way. I think when you take away the heteronormative rules from a relationship, you're like, well, there's no rules now. It's what you want, and it becomes your own thing based on what your personalities desire and need.
Yeah.
And then it just create your new way forward.
Yeah.
So that.
See, I think that's beautiful. I feel like when you say open relationship to a heteronormative society, they immediately think, oh, it's because you want to sleep around or whatever. But
I used to think like that.
Did you?
Because I come from a very conservative, oppressed background, very Greek, and I remember 5 years into a relationship with Sebi. We were very monogamous, and my friends were in an open relationship, but my friend, our mutual friends to that couple, said, "Oh yeah, they're in an open relationship," and I remember thinking, "Really? How dare they? They're cheating on each other." I had exactly that reaction.
Yeah.
And then another friend later, after several years, explained to me, well, hang on, Stefan, open relationship can mean so many different things. Does it mean you get a third
It's different
person
for
in?
each partner.
Exactly.
Yeah, it could mean anything. It
It's
could
not
mean
just
someone
one
else
thing,
coming
like-
in, or you doing your separate things or whatever. But I think it takes away that sting, that jealousy, that weirdness, because there's nothing to hide. If someone wants to speak to someone, or however you guys, decided the terms.
Because even with other guests, they said that being open kind of like
made them
saved
stronger.
their relationship and got rid of all of
the trust issues.
Yeah,
because there was
exactly.
nothing to hide anymore.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. But your Greek background, explain more about that. What is your background, and how was your upbringing? Was it religious? And then I want to lead into coming out and how that was for you, if you're comfortable with that. Yeah.
One of you two, you came here from Jordan. You're first generation like me. Is it the other way around?
Yeah, so my dad is Sierra Leonean, my mum is English, but I was born and raised here.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same as Sierra Leonean and Greek background, but basically, I'll answer the question. My parents came over from Greek Cypriot from North Cyprus, invaded by the Turks in '74, and the Greek Cypriots in the north had to move. Basically, a lot of them, all my family went to the south. Some went to Greece. My parents went to London. A lot of Greek Cypriots went to London. We joke that North London, Palmer's Green, is Palmer's Greek, and it's a very Greek Cypriot part of the world. However, when an immigrant leaves from the country, say they left in the 70s, some in the 60s, they take away the values and the traditions and the customs that were there in the 60s, 70s, and they maintain it abroad. Whereas back in Cyprus, they move on. So the immigrants tend to be a bit more conservative.
Actually.
Yeah. I was wondering if you've seen that with... you've got a mix of British as well.
Yeah, I was predominantly like British, like
Raised,
upbringing, like from my mum's side and that kind of thing. But like speaking to like different family members, they're quite... There's also a mix in my family as well, because half my family in Sierra Leone is like Christian, the other half is Muslim. So I feel like they're all kind of mixed up, so it might be a little bit different. But
I've noticed that,
Faris,
with my family, like moving, even though we moved as kids, there was definitely a stronger sense to stick with the identity and the culture. And I noticed that a lot with my Asian friends, like Indian Asians, like they will almost be more strict and rigid with who they date or whatever than their family members back home, because they're trying so hard and yet they're progressing and you're kind of stuck in the past.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
With the Greek community. Cyprus got rid of their anti-gay law in 1998, a bit late. So it's like England 20 years before, if that makes sense. So my parents grew up in a very conservative, religious, Greek Orthodox society, and they brought that with them. My mother was very religious. I came out late. I was 20 years old. I think that's quite late, and that's the first time I had a sexual experience with a man. I came out to my parents when I was 26 years old. It went down really badly. My mother just did not. They had a terrible reaction. It was awful. But they agreed. We came to a conclusion together. You are our son. We love you, but don't tell anybody in the family. Don't tell any of our friends, because they will use it as gossip. Keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
So it created this wall against the community, the Greek community, the family. I just kept away from them, and only through Nomadic Boys, being this open queen in the world, have I managed to come out to them over the last 5 years, and it's fine. But then the sad story is my mother died from breast cancer 10 years ago, and her religion was so strong, she thought it was a punishment from God for having a gay son. She told that on her deathbed to my father and sister, so my father still lives with that guilt. So he's 83, so he's of a generation as well, but Seb and I got married, the town thing, he couldn't bring himself to come, but he's met Seb. He really likes Seb. He's met Seb's mother. But he said, I just cannot bring myself to accept this gay thing because of what your mother said and my values. And so it's tough with the Greeks. Although it's changing, the Greek Orthodox Church, it's still very backward. Having said that, Greece, very Greek Orthodox Church country, they're really coming from, we all know about Mykonos, right? But then this year they've legalized gay marriage. They had Europride in Thessaloniki. It's really moving forward. Yes, there's still problems. There's lots of stories like mine and the villages outside of Athens and Thessaloniki, but it's moving forward. And Cyprus does whatever Greece does eventually. So there's hope there.
And it's also generations as well. I feel like with your dad being in his 80s, maybe if he was in his 60s, like it would be like a little bit different, because I feel like with our family, like there was stuff happening, but they kind of like did slowly move past it. And I feel like
it's visibility. I mean, what was their perception of gay? UN, I think it was 94 when the UN said, I'm going somewhere with this. The UN said homosexuality is not a disease. Happened in 94, I think.
Okay.
You're going to fact check me. But before that, that's how the world saw homosexuality. And obviously the AIDS crisis didn't work.
Yeah.
So they grew up at a time when if there was ever any representation of a gay character in a soap or some sort of gay issue in the papers or on the radio, it would be in a negative light. Or as a, when did we first see gay characters? In England, it was for me Queer as Folk in 2000, Graham Norton.
Yeah.
That's when it's.
But even that was still like surrounded by sex and drugs.
Yes.
I feel like literally since Heartstopper, that's when I've seen actual representation where it's like
changed
normal.
a lot.
Yeah.
100%.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's really sad. How do you feel about that? Like, how have you processed that information? Because I've heard a lot of people say when they're religious that they believe that they are being punished with a gay son or a lesbian daughter, whatever. But how did you process that? Like, what do you believe? Are you religious? Do you hold any of that still with you, or have you been?
Do you know what I said? That I am extremely religious. Ask me what my religion is.
What is it?
Kindness.
That's cute.
Love and kindness. Just that. And I mean, people who are religious, Christians, Muslims, Hindu, genuinely religious, at their core, they just want to do good. They follow a set of rules that are told them, but they just want to be good people. And that's usually at the heart that we all have in common. Yeah. It's just then it's decorated with all this shit.
And it's culture, the way that people have like perceived certain religious texts. And it's more of a culture now rather than what the basis of that religion necessarily was.
Yes.
So yeah, I do get that.
It is meant to be nice. So are you processed it in the sense of like this is
what
just the way it is?
The easy reaction is, oh fuck, I hate you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You're so I don't want to. But that doesn't help, and it doesn't help yourself either. It sounds cheesy, but if you do it through love and
compassion,
when we lost our mother, I moved in with my father and helped his grieving process. I was there with him and taught him to wash his clothes and cook and take care of him. We grew very close, but just there's this lingering thing that prevents us being really close, and that's fine. I think also there's a big age gap with me and my parents. There's a good 40 years, and my sister's a decade older than me, so she was more like a mother figure to me, and we're very close. So I think I saw them more as this grandparent figure, which you love, but it's not the same as
I understand that 100%.
It's how have I processed? I mean, it's we've reached a point where we just let him get on and be. He's this sweet old man. He's a lovely person. He's not a bad person. He's got a good heart. It's just those little values there.
Do you live near them still now? Or your family?
Dad lives in North London, sister's in West London, and I live in Cyprus.
Oh, okay.
I come every other month.
Oh,
that's nice.
Yeah.
So you seen them now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
How come you decided to leave London and go back to Cyprus? What was the thought process in that?
Well, it was around 2018 when we'd done a lot of traveling, Seb and I. This had grown, Nomadic Boys, but we'd reached a point where we were just fed up of moving around, and we wanted a home base, a place to call home. And it was meant to be Lyon in France, where Seb is originally from. And it was around February time, really cold, horrible. And we were looking around for flats, and Lyon's a very France Germany is a very bureaucratic place. We had money to pay the rent in a year in advance. Landlords didn't care for that. They want to tick boxes. Do you have a job locally? Do you have a history of renting apartments? Because we didn't have any of that. We weren't getting property. So we were driving back from another failed viewing, and I was saying to Seb, but Seb, I've got an apartment in Cyprus that we rent out. It's a family apartment that we own. Let's try it. You know, let's go there for a while and see how it fares. You know, it's good weather. It's a great climate. There's no gay scene there as such, but as a home base, let's check it out.
And you guys travel quite a lot anyway, so
yeah. So we moved there. We tried it. We fell in love because it is. I mean, it's having sun every day.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know, I don't want to be a dickhead and say
that's nice.
You know,
I want to get married in Cyprus.
Yeah, that's literally where we've thought.
Yeah,
I do get that.
London's even more amazing when you're visiting it.
100%.
You know, you must feel that as well.
So, do you think you'll stay in Cyprus, or do you think you'll?
We keep talking about where to go and where to find a more. We want a better gay base, but that has nicer weather. It's a transport hub. Cyprus isn't really a transport hub. You have to go via Athens or via somewhere.
Yeah.
And Barcelona keeps coming up. But this all talk. It's a dream.
Yeah. That's nice. So is your full-time job Nomadic Boys?
Yeah.
That's so. Yeah. What is the whole process? Like, what's the job? Is it socials? Is it the book? Like, is there anything else that you do with it? Like, talk us through that.
We get our money mainly from. So the website gets around 5,000-10,000 people a day.
Oh, fun.
So with that traffic, it converts to advertising income or commission income through stuff we've recommended. So that's a sort of passive income that sits in the background. The website doesn't need constant maintenance. Articles need to be updated. It's work, but it's still a sort of form of passive income on the website. Alongside that, the social media, a big company or a tourism board would come to us and say, right, here's a chunk of money. Can you do visit this destination and do X amount of deliverables on Instagram or TikTok? And then I guess the main ways we get money from it. And it's enough to fund our lifestyle. And
yeah, that's really fun.
That's so nice.
We could write a little bit for your website if you want.
Hey. We've got our Sierra Leone trip coming up, guys.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Fun little pictures of that. Do you have a scrapbook? You guys should do a little Nomadic Boys scrapbook just for you personally, and then you can share it if you want to. But
because we started doing that with our
brilliant
travels.
idea.
It's really cute. You put like your airplane ticket, like old school airplane tickets, pictures.
That
you write
is
little
such
notes.
a brilliant idea. I did that back in the day when I travelled before the smartphone world existed. 2005, I did a solo trip around South America and had I got a diary in Camden and was filling it with all the tickets. And
that's fun.
That's cute.
You need one person in the couple who's anal about doing it, and I'm that person.
I'm airy fairy.
I'm literally like everything that needs to be organized. Like that's me. He's the creative. That's about it.
Yeah. So you and me are similar. You're more like Seb.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
Is Seb a Pisces by any chance?
He's a Gemini.
A Gemini.
He's
is that a water sign? No, is that?
Well, my moon is Gemini.
Oh, is it?
I think,
okay.
yeah. So
what? Hang on. Should I try and guess his? Let's be really basic, guys. Okay, let's see.
I have an idea.
No, wait. What do you think?
Same as you.
No, you don't know what I think.
No, like same star sign as you.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Leo?
I thought maybe Virgo.
I'm close. I'm Libra.
Libra. He's. Oh wait, when's that?
Next week. It's mid 20 September to 20 October.
Oh my God! Happy birthday! What are you doing for it?
I'm gonna go to Algeria.
Oh, okay. By yourself or
with a friend? Yeah.
How old are you gonna be?
42.
Oh really? Oh nice.
Fun.
Ooh.
You have to tell us how that.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Is there anything you want to cover or anything you want to go over?
I think that was thorough and
went in depth there.
Do you feel like you've been grilled?
He's
absolutely,
like, wow.
In a great way.
Well, thank you for coming on. This has been really enjoyable. It's been great getting to know you. And obviously going deep inside your book and you and Seb.
Oh, where can people get your book?
Yes.
You can get our book on Amazon. On our Instagram, there's a link to everything.
Nomadic Boys.
Nomadic Boys, yes. Thank you for that.
Cool.
Nice.
Love that. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it too.
I loved it, guys.
Thank
Really
you.
did love it.
Sweet.
Thank you.